Hi, women of God. Today I was just discussing with a young lady and something came to mind. And I just started thinking because she was telling me that she was having a conversation with God. And I said, a conversation? I'm still at that point in my life where I'm trying to hear from God, how to know when God is speaking to you. I go online on YouTube, I'm reading watching all these videos about people letting you know when God is speaking to you, how to know it's the voice of God. And I was just talking to this young girl, and she really had clarity from hearing the voice of God. And I'm like, wow. And I told her, I always tell people, and I've said it since a very long time ago, more than 10 years ago, when I just started saying that I really want to be able to hear the voice of God. I feel like the ability to hear God's voice is the greatest gift a human being can ever have, because you are hearing the voice of your maker, where he tells you, don't go there, go here, this is the way, walk in it. Don't do this, do that. You can't make mistakes when God is directing you. You can't. When people say they can hear God, I'm always like, wow. So back to what I was saying. I told her, I don't know if God speaks to me. Maybe he does sometimes, but I've had this discussion with people and they try to tell me, but you're his sheep. My sheep hear my voice. You should hear his voice. If he's your friend, why don't you hear his voice? Hi. If he's your friend, why can't you hear his voice? Everybody hears the voice of God. As long as you're a child of God, you hear the voice of God. I don't want to fake something, and I've heard people say a lot of times, so the Holy Spirit told me, so God told me, so the Holy Spirit told me, so God told me. And I'm like, did they really get that clarity? Like, is it from a dream? Yes, you get a confirmation. Like, many times when I've seen something or sensed something and I got a confirmation, it was always for some kind of, it always ended up becoming one kind of nonsense thing. So, like, definitely this is not from God, So, seriously, I was talking to her, she was like, yeah, she knows it's the voice of God because the devil can talk to her. I mean, the devil can give directions about life. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's good, Rema. I'm writing it down. The devil can talk to me. So I said, well, I still maintain that until I hear the voice of God clearly, I want to remain my authentic self so that when God talks to me, I'll know that I really had a God spoke to me experience. I don't want it to be like, it's like it was God. Was it God? I don't want that. I want an experience where I know God spoke to me. So I told her that for now, I classify myself as Esther. So when it comes to hearing from God, I've come to classify within the past year of my trying to be able to hear from God. I've come to classify us, we Christians, and our life goals and relationship with God, hearing from God, into 4 groups, but this is just my classification. So the first group is the Abrahams. So the Abrahams are people like Abraham, Noah, all the prophets. They used to hear clearly from God. Leave your family, build an ark that is this meter high, this meter wide, this number of windows. They have accuracy and clarity when they hear from God. Like, there are no shadows, there are no blurred lines. They can hear everything. Those are the Abrahams. And then we have the Josephs. So I classify the Jacob's ladder, the dream. Joseph, he used to get visions of the future in his dreams, and he could interpret dreams. You know, I just feel like there are people that have that way of receiving messaging from God through dreams, and they just know that God spoke to them because it's it's a dream. The dreams can be very clear. They know this is God speaking to them. So I put that as second group. And then I have the young Samuel. The young Samuels are the people that they hear a voice, but they don't know if this is the voice of God or not. So sometimes I dwindle between being young Samuel and the next group I'll let you know, which I know I belong to. So for the young Samuel group, these are the people that when they hear God's voice, they're not sure this is God talking to them. So because they're not sure, they have to go and ask Prophet Eli, and then Prophet Eli will have to tell them, next time you hear the voice, say, Lord, Lord, your servant listens. So I think there are those people who they hear God's voice, but they need someone to guide them and say, yeah, this is the voice of God. And then the final group is the group that I think I belong to, and that is the Esther group. And you'll be wondering, why am I calling it an Esther group? I'm calling it an Esther group because Esther didn't hear the voice of God. It's not mentioned in the Bible. In fact, the word God is not even mentioned in the book of Esther. Esther didn't hear the voice of God, but Esther prayed, Esther fasted, and Esther took whatever step she wanted to take. Esther was the if I perish, I perish. So I always feel like that's my category. Like when I want to make a major move in my life, I already know I can't hear the voice of God. I don't want to fake it. I don't want to tell people, then God told me, then God said to me. I don't want to say that when I know that I don't feel any conviction. Like I've not had that experience with God yet. And I'm pretty sure, like I always make this joke with my sisters that if they put me in church with all these pastors laying hands on people and people are falling down, I'm definitely not going to fall down because I don't know why they're falling down. I don't know what's going on. Like I'll just be looking. I've had pastors try to push me to fall. I'm like, I don't want to fall. You understand? I'm that kind of person that I don't want to fake my relationship with God about how I feel or anything. I want it to be very clear. So that's why I fall under the Esther group. I have a relationship with God. I pray. I talk to Him. I fast sometimes. And I just put whatever I'm about to do in God's hand. And I just leave it for God. In the end, there's always success most of the time. Sometimes I make a mistake and I'm like, oh God, you should have spoken to me. But then, like I said, being able to hear from God is like the most important, the best gift a human being can ever have. And now let's go to the argument of my sheep hear my voice. Is he not your friend? Is he not your father? If your father is calling you in a large crowd of people, wouldn't you know it's your father's voice? I've heard friends, church leaders trying to say that to me, that analogy when I tell them I can't hear the voice of God. They're trying to just like, won't you know if your God is talking to you? Won't you know if your daddy is talking to you? Won't you know if your friend is talking to you? I would know, but I even made a funny joke. I even made a funny joke to one pastor's wife one time, and she was saying this. I was like, back then when God used to speak to people, the population wasn't 7 billion. So I don't think he has time to talk to everybody now. So why don't you just accept that there are people that he just doesn't want to talk to? He just wants, just do your thing and I'll be with you. But I um I don't know. That's a joke I made, and she was like, "No, God is not." I was like, "Please, why can't you just accept this?" Anyway, I hope you guys watch this and let me know what you think about God speaking to you. How do you know it's God? Do you hear from God? What group do you think you fall into? Are you one of the Abrahams? Are you a Joseph? Are you a young Samuel? Or are you an Esther? Thank you so much. Hi B Bonnie. Hi B Sola. Hi Food Addict. Thank you guys. I'm going off now. I just wanted to share a thought that I was having. Take care. Bye.